Friends Like These, a trans-lesbian love story by Giselle Renarde. Read by Giselle Renarde. Chapter 1. Picture the scene. All my friends were there. We'd gathered as usual at my buddy Remy's place. This was nothing to write home about. Remy's "I didn't get fired this week" parties had become a fixture. For slackers like us, getting canned is a constant concern. But that's not what this story is about. It's about friendship and disillusionment and being in love with a social misfit. But that's all I'll say for the moment. I don't want to spoil it for you. Now that my friends and I all had real jobs, we had to make a point of seeing each other on a regular basis. That or lose the friendships we'd maintained so easily throughout college. It was a big deal, inviting Casper to Remy's party. We didn't usually bring people from outside our friend group unless they'd become crucial elements of our lives. Everybody's jaws swept the parquet when they got a glimpse of Casper. "You're dating a guy?" my friends all asked. "I wouldn't call it dating," I stammered. "We're just—" My whole posse turned in unison to stare at poor Casper as he dripped plum sauce down the front of his shirt. In that moment, I hardly wanted to admit we were sleeping together. Why did he have to be so painfully awkward? And they say clothes don't make the man. My friend Naomi said, "Now I understand why it took like a year to introduce us to your mysterious partner." The teasing pitch of her voice stabbed like an ice pick through my eye. "We were starting to think you had an imaginary girlfriend." "I'm not sure that guy's much better," Charvy laughed. Not nice. I tried to be nonchalant about pressing my thumb into my eye socket to relieve the pain my buddy old pals had inspired. These people were my best friends, and even they gave me constant grief. Not that I could blame them, really. With a few healing blinks, I brought my hand away from my face, only to realize all my friends were staring me down. Their vicious gazes demanded a reason. Why was I dating this guy? So I lowered my voice and admitted, "You wouldn't know it to look at him, but Casper gives head like you wouldn't believe." Their eyes grew wide in unison. Seriously? Him? Now I had them by the balls. "I know, I don't get it either." Total fake-out. I knew exactly why Casper was so good in bed. A woman knows what a woman wants. I don't even know how this thing got started. We just ended up back at my place one day after work. Suddenly, I was naked and she was eating my pussy. I came so hard I could hardly breathe. When I looked up at the clock, like 2 hours had gone by. She ate me for 2 hours and didn't want anything in return. She says she gets from giving. Charvy gave me a weird look. At first, I figured she probably didn't believe me, even though every word was true. Then, when I thought back over what I just said, I realized I'd used the wrong pronouns. Well, the right pronouns, actually. Just the wrong ones for this context, this setting, that outfit. Finally, Charvy cackled and said, "You are so full of shit, Nav. I'd say this Casper guy was after your money, if you had any." Of course Charvy would say that. Charvy and I went out for a while. She always was the jealous type. "I don't know what the deal is," I went on, not wanting to
Sample complete. Ready to continue?